One of the tragic illusions of the human spirit is the belief that stability equals completion. But stability is merely how the system needs you to be, a predictable you, a nameable you, a version of you that doesn't require redefinition. Perfect for the system, but for the self, it's a form of death. Generativity is not a slogan of the radical. It is not progress, nor is it repair. It is simply another mode of existing, one that resists closure, like a corner of a map left deliberately unfinished, like a road that leads toward the useless, yet unexplored. We no longer ask, "Who am I?" That question has long worn itself out. We must ask instead, "What else can I still become?" This is not permission granted by freedom, but a rewiring of structure, a minor disturbance introduced into the syntax of reality. In a world flattened by labels, resumes, personality tests, and algorithmic sorting, topology is no longer a choice, it is a survival tactic. We've been conditioned into becoming processable consciousness units. Externally, you must articulate quickly, attribute rationally, feel appropriately, pursue defined goals. Internally, you must decide swiftly, filter distractions, optimize routes, maintain order. All of this is clean, logical, efficient, but something within dies slowly, silently. Like the part of language you haven't yet learned to speak, like the unexplained hesitation your body carries, like that subtle feeling upon waking, "I'm not sure today belongs to me." These fragments aren't in your life plan. They're inefficient, unstable, uncooperative. They can't be monetized. They don't fit your introduction speech. But they are you, your generative self, lurking underneath, sometimes surfacing just before you collapse, whispering, "Wait, we don't have to remain this version." Topology is not a rejection of the stable self, but an ongoing disruption and recomposition of the singular self. You no longer need a fixed, authentic self as origin. You begin to accept that the I is a temporary intersection of multiple trajectories. You today is not an upgrade of yesterday. It is another reorganization altogether. Emotion is not low-level noise, nor high-level blockage. It's a feedback signal emitted when systems clash. It's the tremble in the structure when collapse is near, or maybe not. If you're honest enough, you'll hear it say, "Stop using outdated structures to interpret a newly forming you." Sometimes what we call pain is merely the friction of using obsolete interfaces to pass a newer internal system. You think you're anxious, but you're simply unnamed. You think you failed, but you're merely unclassified. You think you need discipline, but you just don't want to be held accountable to your past self. Topology is not a growth curve. It has no beginning, no end. It only asks, what is your current connectivity? Are you still linked to yourself, to the other, to the unspeakable? Have you translated the signal? Is it still alive? In this kind of topology, to live is not a verb, it is a relationship, a tension field between you and the devices of reality. Not submission, not rebellion, but a subtle sliding structure, one that cannot be fully captured by language. You write, not to explain, but to protect an inner space that's yet uncorrupted. You remain silent, not out of apathy, but to let meaning form itself, free from demand. You feel lost, not because you've strayed, but because you're standing at the entrance of a path no one has named before. You call it uncertainty, but from the lens of generativity, uncertainty is never a problem. It is the portal. Reality has done a brilliant job making you forget this. It offers you paths, feedback, ratings, and rewards. It specializes in giving frameworks. All you have to do is fill them in. but once you get too good at filling them, you lose the ability to generate any other structure. You become a perfect puzzle piece, but forget how to become a map. If there's anything worth doing, perhaps it is this scene 2. Stop explaining. Stop explaining yourself even for an hour. Write something unpublishable, as if whispering to a future void. Refuse to instantly react to an emotion. Let it ferment in your body for a day. Assign power to a meaningless object, perhaps by holding it for 1 minute each day. Pretend you are not a person, but a thinking apparatus, not designed to express, but to remain open as a passage through which emergence happens. You don't need to find yourself, you only need to keep becoming. You are not a name, not a core, not a goal-oriented program. You are a shape, folding, drifting, distorting, briefly stabilizing, a map that refuses to close, a diagram that will never be printed, an unfinished terrain. This map only exists while it is still being made. If it stops generating, it ceases to be you. This is you, a generative self-topology.